In Ethiopia, nearly 400 people have died of starvation in the north of the country over the past 6 months. And that's according to the Ethiopian Ombudsman office, which was established to prevent administrative abuses against citizens. Most of those deaths were recorded in the state of Tigray, home to 5.5 million people. A significant number of children are also reported to be suffering from malnutrition. The government has largely put the problem down to insecurity and weather conditions. Whilst people have been restored to Tigray after months of conflict, its legacy lingers. This is compounded by drought and a level of aid mismanagement that has caused the UN and U.S. to temporarily suspend deliveries last year. Meanwhile, barely half of the state's farmland was planted during the main planting season last year, according to an assessment by UN agencies, NGOs, and the regional authorities. Crop production in these areas was only 37% of the expected total because of drought. In some areas, the proportion was as low as 2%. Getting access to water is also a major problem, with many having to trek long distances. Well, let's get some insight on this. Groom Chala is in Addis Ababa and joins us with more. Groom, welcome to the program. Groom, reports indicate that although peace has returned to Tigray, extreme hunger has left many children malnourished. What is the situation right now on the ground?
Richard, the situation remains dire, and millions of people in northern Tigray region expect some sort of support and on a daily basis from humanitarian agencies for them to survive. The situation also has different sides of a story. One from the government, the central government, one from the transitional government of Tigray. The Tigray provisional government believes that this hunger is causing death, and the farming situation is also getting worse by the day, and it needs to be supported much better than what is happening right now by the central government and the international community. The central government believes, yes, the situation is there and it's hard to manage, but death due to famine has not happened yet. But we need to also be proactive about it and give solution to the situation that's happening on the ground because of the conflict and other issues. So we can report to you right now, Richard, that millions of Tigrayans, people in the northern part of the country, are in dire need of food support and are also at the verge of perhaps changing the situation into a catastrophic situation if things are not done as soon as possible.
All right, Groom, can you talk more about what has caused this catastrophe and how are local and national governments responding to them, or should I say, what more can the local and national government do to solve the problem?
First, the cause. There are two things to talk about. First is the war, the 2 years war in the north between the federal government and the TPLF, and that has left so many people in the north not to go and farm, as many people in this country are farmers, and 2 seasons at least have passed without farming their lands, and you can understand what kind of hardship they are into because of the past seasons, the past rainy seasons, not being used by these farmers. The second one, of course, is the climate change situation that we've been talking about for a long time. Drought is one of them. The rain has been very short, very little in the northern part of the country. Not only Tigray, by the way, in Amhara and Afar regional state, and some parts of Oromia and also Somali regional states have been affected by the climate change situation. So these are the main reasons. These are the main reasons why in the northern part of the country, especially because of the war situation, that people are suffering. But you can also understand that aid agencies are also stretched, and they need to be supported by the international community. But we know for now that co-chaired by the WFP, the UN's World Food Program, and also the government of Ethiopia, aid is being provided. The U.S. government is also providing aid starting from end of January, after issues of theft have been causing some of the aid deliveries for the Tigray regional state. The federal government, however, believes that it has been spending billions of birr in order to provide aid for the Tigray regional state affected communities, but that's not enough, and the international community must involve in this regard.